Welcome to the Cyber Threat Bulletin, where we keep you up to date on the latest cybersecurity threats and data breaches. I am your host Ragsha, and today we will be discussing the latest incidents in the world of cybersecurity. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow Cyber Threat Bulletin to stay updated on cyber threat landscape. Stay informed, stay secured. Let's dive right in. Our first story highlights a concerning development in the world of macOS attacks. Geacon, an open-source port of the widely used Cobalt Strike beacon, has been increasingly utilized to target macOS devices. While both Geacon and Cobalt Strike serve as legitimate tools for organizations to test their network defenses, threat actors have been leveraging them for malicious purposes as well. Security researchers at SentinelOne have observed a surge in Geacon activity, with an influx of payloads detected on VirusTotal. Although some of these payloads appeared to be part of red team operations, others exhibited traits indicative of malicious attacks. Initially, Geacon garnered little attention from hackers when it first appeared on GitHub. However, this changed in April when anonymous Chinese developers released two Geacon forks on GitHub: Geacon Plus, which is free and publicly available, and Geacon Pro, a private paid version. Historical data from VirusTotal suggests that the development of macOS payloads for the free variant of the fork began as early as November 2022. Recently, the Geacon fork was added to the 404 Starlink project, a public GitHub repository dedicated to red team pen testing tools. This inclusion has contributed to the increased popularity of the Geacon fork and drawn the attention of malicious actors. Our next story raises concerns about the security of a popular parental control app for Android. KidAware's Parental Control, Kids Place app, with over 5 million downloads on Google Play, has been found to be vulnerable to multiple exploits. These vulnerabilities could allow attackers to upload arbitrary files onto protected devices, steal user credentials, and enable children to bypass restrictions without parental detection. The Kids Place app provides various features for parental control, such as monitoring and geolocation capabilities, internet access and purchasing restrictions, screen time management, harmful content blocking, and remote device access. Given its popularity, these vulnerabilities pose a significant risk to the privacy and security of both parents and children. Moving on to our next story, in a recent cyber attack targeting European foreign affairs organizations, a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group known as Camaro Dragon has been infecting residential TP-Link routers. The attackers deploy a custom malware called Horseshell within a malicious firmware designed specifically for TP-Link routers. This strategy allows them to launch attacks that appear to originate from residential networks. It's important to note that this type of attack does not specifically target sensitive networks but rather regular residential and home networks. Infecting a home router does not necessarily mean the homeowner was a specific target. Rather, their device serves as a means for the attackers to achieve their objectives. To mitigate the risks posed by this attack, users are advised to update their router's firmware to the latest version, change the default admin password to a strong one, and disable remote access to the device's admin panel, making it accessible only from the local network. Moving on to our next story, industrial IoT devices face significant vulnerabilities, as highlighted in our next story. Researchers have discovered 11 critical vulnerabilities affecting the cloud management platforms of 3 industrial cellular router vendors: Sierra Wireless Airlink, Teltonika Networks RUT, and InHand Networks InRouter. These vulnerabilities expose operational technology, OT, networks to the risk of remote code execution, even if the platform is not actively configured for cloud management. While the vulnerabilities target devices from a limited number of vendors, their impact can extend to thousands of industrial IoT devices and networks across various sectors. Breaching these devices can bypass common security layers and pose a threat to both the internet and internal OT networks. It also increases the risk of propagation to additional sites through built-in VPNs. To mitigate these risks, it is crucial for users to ensure their devices are updated with the latest firmware patches. Additionally, best practices include changing default credentials, disabling unnecessary services, and implementing robust network segmentation strategies to isolate OT environments. Our final story covers the activities of the Lancefly APT group, which has been targeting organizations in South and Southeast Asia. This group is employing a custom-written backdoor known as Malware in its attacks. Malware is a powerful backdoor that supports various capabilities, such as installing itself as a service, keylogging, communication with command and control servers via multiple protocols, and listening on a local port for commands. While analyzing instances of the Malware backdoor, researchers have found that the only differences lie in the embedded and encrypted configuration. This configuration includes details about the C2 communication methods, service information, and installation directories. It's important for organizations in the targeted regions to remain vigilant against these attacks and take necessary security precautions to protect their systems and data. That wraps up today's Cyber Threat Bulletin. We hope you found this informative and helpful in keeping you informed on the latest cybersecurity threats and data breaches. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow Cyber Threat Bulletin to stay updated on cyber threat landscape.